Hello team, today's challenge is wake up alarm, where we're given a time, actually 2 times, and we need to figure out if somebody is early, on time, or late, with the condition that you're only late if you snooze the alarm once, I guess, right? If you hit that snooze button just once and then popped right out of bed, you're probably still on time. So getting this done, it will take a little bit. We're going to copy this down. We don't need to copy all of the text because we're going to delete most of that anyway, but starting out with some sort of a default variable, right? We'll make it so that we can change this later on in case people want to have different words or maybe translations for different languages. We'll be able to do all that, okay? So right here, we're going to call this status defaults, okay? That is an object. We're going to paste all this in here, make sure that it's aligned, and get this space and the if, and that should let us do multiple cursors, which lets us jump to the end and delete, okay? Add a comment on there to save us some time, but we're going to grab everything in between, copy that to the clipboard, jump right to the front of this, paste it in, add a colon, brilliant. Fixing this one, let's make it a capital T. Excellent. This, if you're doing TypeScript, if you're used to that, this is an enum, right? But for us, it's just an easier way of maintaining these strings, right? We maintain them outside of the function so that we don't have to constantly test the function. We can just test the results of it based on these changes. All is good, okay? So with that, we have that. We can absolutely use that, which means that right down here, we're going to set up our statuses, okay? I'm just going to leave it as status. And right here, we're going to send in that status defaults, okay? Just like that, and options. Now, if you watched previous videos, you know that options is up in the arguments, right? So we set options, set it equal to an empty object. Excellent. And now, if they want to go and change these or translate these to different things, we don't need to update this function. It can be somewhere completely different, so long as it's able to import these default statuses from somewhere, and then merge them with whatever the user is passing through, or whatever the calling function is passing through, sorry, then we're in good shape, right? So with that, I'm going to jump ahead for a few seconds because I want to take care of the return, okay? The return is the easiest part of this, and then we just need to figure out the math inside, okay? So right here, it's going to be a switch, okay? And that switch is going to be based on sign, which hopefully gives you a hint if you've worked with this before, where you know what's coming, okay? If you don't, it is a -1, just like this. We're going to copy that down. Nope, not like that. Paste it, paste it, paste it 4 times. This is going to be -1, -0, 0, or 1, okay? And we can space those out if you want that to look prettier, but the sign, we're going to subtract wake time from alarm time, and it's going to give us a negative, a positive, or a 0, right? Sometimes when we do that, it will return -0. I don't know why. I've never actually hit that condition, but the docs say that it can happen. So I always like to add -0 in there just to protect myself in case that one little chance where that will happen, right? I never want to run into that. And -0 is the same as 0 for me, okay? The other thing that we need in here is a default. We should always have a default for our switch statements. And because we're working in -1, 0s, or 1, we should never hit this default. So if we do, it is super special, which means that we should just throw a new error, okay? With something better than oops. But for today, that'll do the trick, okay? Now we get into all of these, okay? We return what? Well, it's going to be that status.early, okay? Just like this, we're going to go and grab right here, paste it in. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. That should go there because this is on time. And then this one here, which is late, okay? And we can stack those case statements. So if this is the first time you're seeing that, this is perfectly valid. It'll basically say this or this, right? Not both, but one or the other. If either of these is true, then it drops down here and returns be on time, okay? Which leads to the math, right? Now we're in it for the slightly more challenging part. And I do mean slightly because it's not complicated. We just need to convert some things and then do that math and decide where to go next, okay? So right here we have alarm minutes equals time to minutes, which is a thing that we've used before. We're going to send in alarm time and do that again for wake time. So multiple cursors, just like this. Excellent. Okay. We're going to convert these to minutes and minutes. Very important, especially for this one. Okay. They don't have a test on this, but you might have looked at this and said, okay, all I really need to do is get rid of the colon and then subtract 700 from 645 to get my difference. Brilliant. One test that they don't have in here is 1155 to 1205. Okay. If you subtract a time of 1205, you get rid of those colons so that it's just 1205, and you subtract that from 1155, well, you get 50. Right? That's the wrong answer, right? It should only be 10. We know it's 10, but the math isn't going to math correctly because we're working in times and not actual numbers. So we always convert this to minutes, especially today. Otherwise, the math doesn't work, okay? We have not created this function. Let's go do that. Function, changing this to time, brilliant, dropping down. Just like every time before, we go and get our hours and our minutes, just like this. That's going to be equal to time.split, which is that colon, okay? And then we return the math. So return, just like this. That is hours coerced to a number, right? Because it's a string coming off a split. Remember, I'll say it again, but try to remember. Multiplying that by 60 to get the minutes, and then adding in the remaining minutes to get our total time, okay? So with that, we can actually do some math. Right here, we're going to take that that time and subtract it. So here's our minutes. It's going to be wake minutes minus alarm minutes. Brilliant. That is minus, there it is. Making sure that they all light up, right? That's going to give us that positive, negative, or 0, okay? So what we need to do is, unfortunately, it could be a rather big number, so it doesn't line up with this yet. Instead, what we do is we drop down here and set this to a let, okay? And this is going to be our sign. So we go and we get math.sign minutes, okay? Which does return a -1, -0, 0, or 1. Okay, it is guaranteed to return one of these numbers so long as you're passing in an actual time, right? Or an actual number. If you pass in something that is not a number, then it breaks, right? We should probably have a test for that. But considering that we got to this line, right, we would have broke it somewhere up here probably, because this is returning a number. So 2 numbers, it should in theory work. If it's breaking here, it's probably something higher, okay? That's where I'm going with that. You'll notice that I used a let, okay? That's because now we take care of that 10 minutes. This is where we do that. So right here is an if. We check if the sign is equal to 1. So if we are, in theory, late, and too many ampersands, but and minutes like this is less than equal to 10, okay? Then if it's less than equal to 10, we're still on time. So we need to roll the sign back. Sign equals 0. And at this point, it works, okay? If we wanted to, this is a magic number. We could totally move that up. I strongly recommend that. Should it go in status or should it go somewhere else? I don't know, right? Options, lots of options. But I'm going to leave that there for today. I'm just saying that it probably should be something that can be configured, okay? Where I want to go now is a quick review, right? So we set up some default options. And then we calculated our time to minutes because trying to figure it out the other way just wouldn't have worked, right? It would have been bad math. So once we have minutes, we do some basic math on those minutes. We get the sign. We update the sign if we're still within a certain range of time, right? Again, this 10 should probably be a default so that it can be changed, right? And then we return the status, right? Now, this math, at some point in the future, we might not need it. And what I want to do is finish with something we've done before. So I'm going to grab this right here. I'm going to drop down a few lines, pasting it all in. And this time to minutes, I want to change it to temporal. Okay, we've talked about that before, but this time we're going to use plain time, which only deals with time, not the days, not the months, just hours, minutes, seconds, and everything south of that, okay? Everything smaller than that. But we get that time, we pass in alarm time. We don't pass it in this way. We actually need from, okay? So Temporal.PlainTime.from alarm time, and we can keep chaining on this, which is really, really handy. So we can go until wake time, okay? When you use until, the until method basically says this minus this, okay? And you'll notice that we converted the first one to temporal, but we didn't need to convert the second one to temporal. Because we're working with a temporal time here, it tries to coerce this into a temporal time so that it can do the math, okay? Which is really handy. It saves us a step, right? Which means that we don't need any of this because right here, we get back an object. Technically, it's a temporal duration, but we can destructure things off of this. And we can grab the minutes and the sign. They're both included right there, right? The only catch here is that we are changing sign down here. So this const needs to change to a let, okay? And once we do that, again, it works. Does it work in every browser? Not yet, right? I think it's almost there for Safari. I've heard it's in their technology preview. But if you're using older browsers still, right, you might have to do it the hard way. And the hard way isn't that hard, right? Hopefully you can see that. You just convert these two times, do a little bit of subtraction, figure out the sign, and it's done. But it's nice to know that temporal has this kind of functionality built in. Really, really nice. And I like how it reads, right? It's saying, hey, plain time from this time to this time. Basically, that's what it's saying, right? From here until here, it just reads so nice. I love that about that. With that, here we are, right? Here's today's solution. It looks a lot longer because we have things like the switch statement. Switch statements always seem to take up room, right? But the actual thing that we're doing, the math, happens in these few lines, and of course this helper function up here. And we also added a few lines with options and whatnot, right? That leads to the question, again, not every solution, just hopefully one good solution. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you find another solution that you want to share, right? Put all those into the comments. And hey, something fun today, okay? If you don't have a comment, but you got this far, go into your emoji picker, search for fish, right? Pick one like this one. Toss that into the comments too to let me know that you got all the way to the end of this video, right? Just completely destroy my comments, but that's okay, okay? Do that for me. For now, this is it. This has been Wake Up Alarm, right? And I will see you tomorrow.